Most of the percussionists that I know collect instruments as we find them. I think it just happens with the nature of what we do. You find a new sound, you go, oh, I could use that, even if you only use it one time. I've got a ton of instruments now that I might have used once in the last 3 or 4 years, you know what I mean? But it's just what you do, you know? It's sort of my addiction. My name is MB Gordy, and I'm a drummer and percussionist here in Los Angeles, California. I play on a lot of film scores, video games, and TV shows. Pretty much whatever I can play and bang instruments on is what I do. Let me show you around. So this first instrument is called a whale drum. It's basically a propane tank, and it's got these metal tongues cut into it. And then, you know, you can just play it with all these various mallets and sticks. For the film and TV stuff that I do, I love this world of this soundscape, sound sculpting, if you will. I mean, that's kind of what it is. This next thing is just a basic oil drum. So I was doing this project for Sarah Connor Chronicles. He wanted a lot of metal stuff. So we go to all these junkyards. Come to find out, cars aren't made of metal anymore, man. Everything's plastic. So we didn't really find anything that we could use. So I was leaving this one junkyard, and I happened to look over, and I think I bumped this thing or saw it, or I was just using it as a trash can. And I said, hey, is this thing for sale? And he goes, yeah, sure, how much you give me for it? I said, how about 20 bucks? Definitely made my money's worth on this. The cool thing about the world of percussion, as soon as you hit the instrument, it makes a sound. Then you can take that sound, reverse it, morph it, lower it, raise it in pitch, whatever. All of a sudden it becomes a whole nother sound that people have never heard before. So this is the chopper. These are just crashers. That's kind of a sweet sound. And again, all this stuff, it can be used on its own as effects. You can mix and match and do sort of percussion-y groove stuff within this stuff like we've been doing today. Or you could incorporate it into a drum kit. This is actually a garden weasel, but it sounds awesome. Because it's so long, you know, it's kind of cool like for slower stuff, just slower groove stuff that kind of just fills in this space. Spurs on steroids, you know, so there's that. This thing is a Pisces instrument called a Rotosound. So it's just the same metal that they use from their cymbals, but not as thin. And so that's a lot thicker sounding, right? But then what somebody came up with is, oh, well, how about if that thing spins like that, right? So once you hit it, it now becomes like a Doppler effect kind of thing. You got to find the right moment to use something like that, or something like this, or the chopper, or the crasher. You know, toms and snare drums and cymbals and drum sets and concert bass drums and mallet instruments and timpani we use all the time, you know, because it just fills stuff out. And other times there's something that's more appropriate for this wackier world of sound, so to speak. That's just a brake drum from a car. These are just jerry cans that you'd find on the side of a Jeep or something. So they're different, obviously different pitches, you know. And they just, this is something we did again on Sarah Connor Chronicles. Back to the Sarah Connor theme. These guys, there's an instrument that Remo made called Roto Toms, and these were just the rims that hold the head. Awesome sound. This is my little storage area in my studio here, which is totally packed if you look around with instruments from all over. In here is different trunks, and this has got a bunch of wood and ethnic shakers and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know what this is called, or I don't remember what it's called. And then you can get into so that's that instrument. I've used this so much. Awesome sound, man. I mean, an old frying pan. I've used this a lot of times on stuff where we wanted a motor, but we didn't want to have a hi-hat going or a shaker. We wanted something like more, intense sounding, and that's pretty intense sounding. So you'd get this close and open sound. There's just so much stuff. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, that's a little showing of a bunch of crazy instruments, and thanks for coming by.